George. Good afternoon, everyone. I truly appreciate you taking the time to come. As you know, my name is AC Aminkeng, and I'm a fourth year top scholar here, and this is my top scholar end of year presentation. So here's the agenda. I will just be going over all the 4 years of my life here at UTSA, just talking about the lessons learned, what I did, and then the overall journey. So that being said, freshman year from 2022 to 2023. I think when it comes to my freshman year, the biggest lesson that I learned was widening my perspectives. It was my first semester and my first 2 semesters trying to do my degree in biochemistry, taking classes like Gen Chem, biology, figuring out what type of extracurriculars I want to be, and figuring out what type of legacy impact I want to do as a college student. So in terms of my pillars, during this whole entire academic year, I really tried to figure out in terms of knowledge what type of things in terms of research I wanted to do. So I was working in the maternal fetal medicine lab under Dr. Ego Pruitt. She is an OBGYN, MD, PhD here at Long School of Medicine. I've had the pleasure of being under her ever since my senior year of college, so I've been with her for a very long time. And I remember very well when I was entering college and she heard I was coming to UTSA. So she was like, "Do you want to stay?" And I said, "Thank goodness. I was going to ask you that too." And I've been in her lab ever since. So during that year, I was really pleasured and blessed to be able to do a department poster presentation and also go to the annual meeting for the Society of Maternal Fetal Medicine, where I got to meet other peers in the field and just see a little first step into what research is like at a conference level. Then in terms of leadership, I started leadership roles. So during my freshman year, I joined AMSA, the American Medical Student Association. I started off in the spring as an events officer. Then at the very end, I became head of events. I remember AMSA really well because when AMSA first started here at UTSA, I kid you not, we had about maybe 10 people in the room. Now, as an organization, we have over like 100 members, 50 people typically come. So I remember very well doing events. I did events such as Cupcake Wars, figuring out socials, and I led the very first induction ceremony. Ever since COVID, AMSA didn't have an induction ceremony to celebrate our members at the end of the year. So I remember the president at the time, Bailey, he asked me, "AC, you're doing your events officer, do you want to do it?" So I said, "Sure." I had never hosted any big banquet. I didn't know the logistics, so I said, "Let me try." And it was a big success. So I remember at the end of it, he asked all of us, "I want AMSA to be a bigger org, to truly make impact on UTSA. Do you want to be part of the board?" And I said, "Sure." And I've been the head of the events committee ever since my freshman year. Then in terms of service, I did a lot of service projects during my freshman year. I tried to get involved in so many different aspects to figure out not only what type of person I want to be for medical school, but what type of young student in college, what type of impact I want to lead for other people. So through that, I started volunteering in Educate and Excel Academy, which is EOY. It's one of the volunteer experiences that have had the most significant impact ever since college. Just for sure, our goal is that we go to Rudder Middle School. It's a middle school just about 15 minutes away from here. It is one of the biggest middle schools in the north side that deals with children from immigrant families. Typically, our students are immigrants from the Middle East and parts of North Africa, and we have the biggest immigrant population in San Antonio. And our goal as mentors is to just be that first aid, not only helping them with ESL and just showing them higher education as possible and just being a sense of relief. And I remember my mentee at the time, she was very tiny. She was so quiet. I would come up to her and say, "How are you doing?" She would nod. And I remember as a freshman, I was trying to figure out, how can I get this girl to open up to me? Then I asked her, "Do you sew?" Because my mom, she could tell you she sews all the time. My grandma sews all the time. And then actually, have you crocheted before? She said no. I said no, and we decided let's crochet together. And then through Christy and the rest of the top scholar, I got enrichment funding and we started crocheting together. And I've been doing that ever since. It truly showed me that cultural barriers and connection can happen through the unexpected ways, even as something as simple as yarn. I remember when I was with her from my freshman year to junior year, so I'll keep talking about her. And she even gave me a bracelet that I wore for every single medical school interview, just reminding me for good luck. And something else that I did for UTSA Volunteer Day, this is something that I did with Audie, Indra, and Jose. We did San Antonio Riverside cleaning. And something else I was really passionate about is BARC. BARC is the Vector Area Harm Reduction Coalition. It's one of the biggest coalitions we have here in Texas. It's when volunteers, we go to downtown San Antonio and we actually do street medicine. This is helping people who are unhoused, dealing with substance abuse and any sort of health conditions. We help them get clean needles for drug exchange. We do wound care for them. We give them free breakfast, just helping them see that healthcare has been more accessible despite any sort of your circumstances. And something else I was also part of was PASA. This is a project that was part of the IHCR here at UTSA, part of COFA and HCAP. IHCR stands for the Institute of Healthcare Disparities Research. So part of the research that I would go every month, I would go downtown to a middle school. It is one of the most socioeconomically disadvantaged middle schools here in San Antonio, downtown San Antonio specifically. It's called Tafoya. And every month I'll help them do research projects, figuring out how they feel about mental health, figuring out how they feel about substance abuse, helping figure out data. But then at the very end of my freshman year, they asked me, "Do you actually want to teach the kids and make healthcare a bit more accessible?" And that's something I started off a little bit more of my year 2, which I'll talk about later. Then in the summer, I went back into continue working in the lab, and I went to Costa Rica, which I'll talk way more heavily about during my sophomore year journey. So here are some of the pictures. This is here with me, Andrea, Jose, when we used to hang out. This is when I first started crocheting. I did not know that when you're crocheting, you have to skip a row and crochet extra. So by doing this, I started getting spirals. I have since progressed in my crochet skills. And this is me with my mentor. As you can see here, I just blocked her face for privacy when we first started crocheting for kids. Up here is a website presentation I did during my spring semester here through the Honors College. I did Professor Glover's Monstrous Medicine class. For me, it's one of the most transformative classes I took here at UTSA because it truly helped me define my why for medicine, and more specifically, why I'm very passionate about agency, which I'll talk about later throughout my years. So through that, we talked about a lot about health disparities, specifically medical experimentation that we do not see in medical history, and you do not see it in a lot of medical institutions. So one of these cases here actually happened in Texas is Dr. Death. Essentially, it was neurosurgery who did a lot of malpractice. Patients were left disabled and had debilitating conditions. And it was only years later they were actually able to advocate, get heard. But for this project, I really wanted to make sure that, yes, I want to talk about the crimes that happened, but I really want to talk from the patient's perspective. Oftentimes, when we talk about harm in healthcare and medicine, forget the people who are actually suffering and that they have an agency situation. So by making sure in this website and giving presentations in class, I gave voice to the victims themselves and figure out what they want to share with us. I felt like this was very important. Then over here was when I was first leading the induction ceremony for AMSA. This is a little sneak peek of the research I was doing with Dr. Pruitt. This was me when I was doing a doctor spot as a freshman. And now on to sophomore year. So I think sophomore year, if I had to say one big lesson that I would take away, is that teamwork makes you dreamer. This is where I started Sassy, and throughout my sophomore year, I truly realized the value that you can have a dream, but you don't have people who are like-minded with you or have skill sets. You really can't make much happen. And as somebody going to a field of medicine, I just want to become somebody as a young woman who wants to engage in the world more, recognizing that the unique assets that people have and what you all bring to the table is equally important to make an impact, whether it's big or small. So in terms of knowledge, so this was Costa Rica. I actually presented about specifically the study abroad. I presented about SASSI in its separate year, and I won second place in the engaged living category. Then I continued working with Dr. Pruitt for research, and we presented work at the 71st Annual Society for Reproductive Investigation. Then in terms of my leadership, I again did AMSA as head of events, but then this is this year that SASSI was co-founded. I first started off with SASSI as the vice president, and our advisor is here, Ms. Lozano, who is here. And we started SASSI in the beginning. We officially decided to plan for SASSI in the fall. But I think what we really started going forward with SASSI is during the spring of our sophomore year. And I remember we started really well. Because I remember we were at Costa Rica. Every evening we used to do confluences. And at the very last confluence, the owner of the ranch, Don Juan, asked us, if there's one thing you could take away, what would you do? Then I remember one of our friends, Marissa, she since graduated from UTSA. She said, making soap would be pretty cool. And we're all laughing. And I remember we came back to San Antonio, we're all eating out at an Asian restaurant, and we said, should we actually do this? And we said, yeah. And that's how SASSI's born. For those of you who don't know, SASSI stands for Sustainable Arsenal, so it makes exciting you. That's a super, super long name, so we just say SASSI. Our goal is to make environmentalism more accessible to the everyday public. Here in Costa Rica, what we did is they have a circular economy. So any used cooking oil they use, they turn into soap. And soap is a saponification process. I know not everyone here is a chemistry nerd, so I will skip what that means. But essentially, you get your soap, you get a really strong base, such as sodium hydroxide, put them together, and that'll make your soap. And we decided maybe by doing that, we can not only reduce waste here in San Antonio, we could teach people about environmentalism and just make chemistry a bit more fun. A lot of people here when I came back to college, I actually want to be more eco-conscious. They actually want to be more resourceful. When it comes to the average American, it's really hard for families to do that while changing their whole entire lifestyle. And it becomes very inaccessible. By doing something as simple as soap, you could be a part of that bigger impact, and by giving away to people in San Antonio, we can cover some resource scarcity, hygiene, security. So SASSI became a big impact for not only the engage environmentalism and chemistry, but also to learn from people in UTSA and the greater San Antonio as a whole. So in the service, our first year of SASSI, which was mostly in the spring of my sophomore year, we donated over 200 soaps. I continued working for PASA, and this is when I became the health club director, and I did projects for my kids there. And in the health club director role, what I like to do for the students is I make a healthcare toolbox. I had kids from 6th grade all the way to 8th grade. I was teaching kids early in the morning at 7 a.m., about 20 to 30 kids at a time. And my goal is that for students learn about health, what they want health to be, because they already have science classes in school. So my goal is that how can I not replace the science classes we have, but add on to that. So what questions were they curious about health? Why did their stomachs growl? What's the big deal about social media and mental health? How does this help them be engaged and help them have more curious health questions? Then in the summer, I continued doing research as always, but then I also, on my own part, started doing a lot of the soaps and also making soaps by myself. Here's some of my pictures. This is one of the pictures one of my friends took when we went abroad to Costa Rica. Honestly, they did a really good job. This is the most aesthetic, one of the most aesthetic pictures I have of myself with my hair blowing in the wind. It was really iconic and I truly enjoyed it. This was by the Lake Arenal for when kayaking. And before Costa Rica, I never gone kayaking. Something that I learned is that it requires a lot of upper body strength. Looking back, it was pretty self-explanatory. But if you asked to bring your AC, I did not know. So fortunately, there were two people in the boat, not one. So I was fine. Then this is one of the posters I did for my students. Why does your stomach growl after eating? Can't remember the month before they asked me, Miss A, can we learn about food? And I said, sure. So yeah, they told me the questions you want to ask, and that's what we did a presentation on. Then here you can see, this is me, the AMSA group. This is the first time ever I led a medical school tour here at Long School of Medicine. This is me and my ELF presentation. Then a lot of these pictures here are stuff with Sassy. In my first year of Sassy, we started working at the park that's right by UTSA outdoors, because when it comes to sponification, it can release corrosive fumes. So because of that, you want to be either in a ventilated area or outdoors. And because UTSA is right by the aquifer, we have Aquifer Protection Acts here. So you really can't do any soap making project on campus. It's something I didn't know, because when I first started Sassy, me and the group, we actually went to one of the safety directors here. Their office is actually right behind Chaparral Village and really right behind Watt and now Blanco Hall. It's all the way on the corner. You just say, we said, so meeting with him. We said, hey, you want to do soap? What's the logistics we have to do? How can we be safe for students? We know not everyone's going to be STEM students. How do we do that? We had over a long hour meeting, and he said, okay, you guys can't do it outside, but you could do it either at a park or in a science lab. And at that point, I wasn't as advanced in my biochemistry degree, so I said, okay, maybe the next year when I get more connections to the lab, we could do it on campus, but for now, let's do it at a park. And it was fun ever since. A lot of these pictures of the park here is when we did it with voices. That was really fun for me. I was teaching people how to make soap. I've met people of different backgrounds. I remember I was having a really prominent conversation with somebody who was double major in philosophy and psychology. This is telling me why he picked this major degree and what he wants to do with it. And it really showed me the blessing of talking to people with different perspectives from you, because there's so many new stories you can hear every day. Then here you can see a little screenshot of some of the organizations we have worked to volunteer the first time: Pay for Hope, Corazon Clinic, the Central Healthcare Services. And this is one of the socials that I did as a sophomore. Dr. Aguilar was also here with Professor Glover. So this is a professor social where people got to know professors and kind of bridge the gap between STEM students and our professors. And that was truly, truly a lot of fun. And now on to my junior year. So for my junior year, I think the biggest lesson I learned is connection through the unexpected. I learned that everyone has a story to share, and by taking the time to listen to our people's stories, we grow up wiser every day. And by doing so many different experiences, kind of culminating my volunteer services, when I want to join campus, I got to meet a plethora of people, and I learned so much stories through that. So when it comes to knowledge, I did a lot of research in my junior year. So during the fall semester, I was in Dr. Aguilar's chemical communications class. And I remember that class really well. I really loved that class. He told us we could either do a project we're doing in a lab or a new project. So I was ready doing a project at Peru, but I said, let me push myself and figure out how I can use what I do in SASE and take it to more of a clinical and scientific standpoint. Something that I've learned I really love to do in science, and not only in science and here by the time at UTSA, is see the bigger connections, whether it's something as simple as soap making to when it comes to science, or something as simple as jarring and connect through cultural barriers. I love thinking of the big perspective and trying to be as holistic as I can. So this semester is a really cool way to do an experimental what-if project. So this is the project I came up with, so figuring out how we can do soap-embedded nanoparticles when it comes to lupus treatment. Then I took another class with Professor Glover. This is her honors sex gender representation course. At the end of this, we have to do a zine project, a very introspective work. So for mine, I see slices of H&M. That's my middle name. So I basically focus on introspective of race and gender in my first gen Cambrian American story. I reflect on my experience as a child of Cambrian immigrants, and that's just shaped how I view the world, also while being a Black woman in America. Then I also did, in the spring semester, I did independent studies. So I was with Dr. Pruitt in the lab, commuting from here to UT Health about minimum 16 hours a week. Anytime I wasn't in class, I was typically in the lab doing research with her. And that led me to do a poster presentation at the end of the semester on the role of oxytocin receptor systems in lactation-induced maternal cardiovascular benefits. Something about her lab that I truly love and admire about Dr. Pruitt is that we try to figure out how to make women's health accessible. So we already knew that oxytocin has effects on lactation and have cardiovascular benefits. How can we tap into that instead of making a whole new mechanism or a whole new drug? How can we use what's already in women's bodies in order to help further their health? And that's the project we did. That project is still undergoing, but I was really blessed that I was able to have a bit more of a foreground in doing that project as a pioneer. Then in terms of my leadership, I continue some of the same projects. At that point, our past president is Sassy. Marie, she graduated, so I became the president and continued my work there. Then also I was in ACS. I joined in my sophomore year and I was a media officer. But at the very end, during my junior year, I actually became the head of public relations and at the head of the social media committee. So just being behind the scenes at ACS and doing a bigger, more leadership role was really fun. Helped me make a bigger impact in the chemistry department. Then my service projects. I get like for me something that I've realized in my time at UTSA is that while it's important to do so many different things, when you have something that you're truly passionate about, dive into that and truly invest in that. So I get to you some of my biggest projects in EA, mentoring my mentee. This is my last year of her. And I remember when she graduated, she gave me, like I said, she gave me this bracelet, but she said something in Arabic, takashur, and that means thank you. You made me feel at home. And that's a bracelet that every single interview, it was blue. I wore it for every single interview. And it just reminded me to good luck and stay present. And actually during some of my interviews, they asked me about it, told me how I crochet, how I met her through that. So it just reminded me that whenever time is stressful, just keep grounded, but also that you can have so many blessings for people from so many unexpected backgrounds. And as somebody who wants to make an impact of medicine for people of multiple different backgrounds and socioeconomic understandings, being able to connect people of different stories and life lessons is something that's truly important for me, not only in a medical standpoint, but just as a young woman in America in general. Then SASSY. So at the very end of my junior year, we were at the University Life Awards. I remember this very well. I remember Ms. Lozano, she sent me an email that the University Life Awards is coming up. So apply. So I said, okay, I haven't heard this before. I said it's going to be pretty competitive, but I trust Ms. Lozano, so I will apply. So I applied for everything that SASSY qualified for, and by God's grace, we won every category. I won the Jane Fielding Award, and that's an award for UTSA students who have made the biggest impact in service projects, and for me, that was SASSY. At that point, SASSY had donated over 1,000 soaps. Some of the donors and people we worked with, I'll show in the next slide. We also won the Outstanding New Student Organization Award and also Outstanding Student Organization President Award. And I just remember sitting in that room and getting the awards. Now, yes, while I was happy and I was grateful for it, it truly showed me that something as simple as filmmaking, just something as simple as something that me and my peers did, can make such a big impact. Here at SASSY, we are biomedical engineers. We are public health majors. We have me as biochemistry. We have somebody who does music. We have somebody who does other engineering aspects. So many different disciplines. And if you had told me in my freshman year that would be people of different majors than me, different backgrounds who will come together to make soap, impact people on campus, I would have said you're lying. And what I enjoy about SASS is that actually most of our members aren't STEM. We have people who are philosophy. I have met people who are social work, public health, mathematics, business majors, any sort of major you would think under the sun that are not STEM. I've probably met them and probably have laughed with them. Just running around the lab, baking soap with them. They ask me about chemistry questions. And sometimes leave the lab saying, hey, AC, chemistry isn't that scary after all. And it puts such a big smile on my face. It's something that I've truly enjoyed about UTSA is that, yes, my biochemistry degree is taught me to be good chemistry, but also how accessible it is and how applicable it can be for everybody, whether you're in STEM or not. Just showing people the magic of being environmentally conscious while also seeing that science can be fun and engaging no matter your background was a huge blessing that I'm very, very grateful that me and my friends could do this together. Then in the summer, well, I'm a pre-medical student, so I obviously applied to medical school, which I will talk about in my senior year portion. So here's some pictures. I included a picture of my zine project. So it was a really fun project, very introspective. Doing this project with Professor Glover, it kind of brings some of my artistic side. So this is me showing the stereotypes of what people think was acceptable for Black womanhood in America and what's not. This is a snapshot of my independent study research project that I did. Then this section was something that I really enjoyed for my zine project because I realized you can make like a news template. And I always see news templates and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so aesthetic. So as a junior, I said, okay, AC, try it. So I said the Chinam Journal. Back then, if you asked me, I said, oh my gosh, this is like the most clever thing in the world. So I just kind of reflected on my identity. Then again, this is a screenshot of when I was teaching my students at Tafoya Middle School in downtown San Antonio every month for our PASA project. Then this picture right here. During my junior year, I remember this very well because he actually sent me the email on my birthday, March 12th. I presented at the ELF. And later on, because of the ELF, the UTSA Career Ready Role Runners reached out to me and said, we actually love what you're doing at SASSY. Can we make a video about you guys? And I remember I was just so much in shock. They came and they mic'd me up and they were doing our SASSY and soap making and filming. And for me, the most thing I saw about mic'ing up was when I watched YouTubers on YouTube. So I remember telling my mom, oh my gosh, mom, I'm getting mic'd up. So it's just like people I see on YouTube, just showing us how we're making soap, we're talking. And I was just grateful. What I truly loved about it is that, yes, they were able to film and document the SASS experience, but I was just so grateful that they showed our members the happy smiles they had on their faces, the way they were laughing with each other, asking not only me, but the other SASS members about soap, about different ingredients to have. Or we say, oh, hey, maybe next time can I donate this essential oil? Or can we try pumpkin juice next time? Or how about milk? What would that do? Just showing them the curiosity about people of so many different departments here at UTSA being engage in such a project. It's just so inspiring for me, and I'm just forever grateful. Then we were at the eco market selling our soap. It was actually a success. We made about $200. That was one of the biggest fundraisers we ever did. And this is a picture of some of our members smiling and laughing as we're making soap together. And this is AMSA. This is us as the executive board, and this is me with some of my officers when I was a junior. And this is another picture of Sassy. So finally, my senior year, where I did practice idea connected for an expected, but just on a bigger stamp. So, knowledge. During my senior year, well, yes, majority of my time was applying for medical school. I want to take a step back, not only just relax, focus on my mental health, but try to do things that I never would have thought before. Something that I've been doing recently is learning ASL. I'm learning it by myself, just through self-lessons. But it's something that I've been telling my mom for a few years I wanted to learn ASL. Because for me, I am very passionate about healthcare disparities, but it's just something that I've always just seen in the world. And this happened when I went to Pasadena a few weeks ago. I was just seeing somebody do sign language, which wasn't a big deal, but made me wonder that in our society of hearing people, we have people of so many different disabilities in that community. However, for our society, while we are used to them coming to us, asks my mom, why is it the other way around? How come we don't have ASL taught in schools? Why isn't it practice? Why do people just like to assume to lip sync to hear us? Why don't we try to learn even a little bit ASL to communicate with our peers? And I realized that even in the street, I've never met somebody who's deaf. And even if I have, I've probably walked them across the street multiple times because of the way societal standards are just adapting to our world. I thought, as somebody who's interested in connecting with different people, what if I start learning ASL? It's a very complicated language. It's something that you cannot become fluent overnight. But it's my own way. So next time I see somebody where it's on the street or making a new friend, we can at least, before they start lip syncing or writing up this paper, we can at least say hello. And if I can do just that one little thing, I think I'll be pretty happy. Then during my fall semester, I took medical gross anatomy, and then right now I'm taking honors art and politics, a walking class. Yes, we do walk, as the name suggests. We talk about different readings, a bigger picture, and it's just showed me the gratitude, just being engaged with society. Then leadership. This senior year was really about culmination and finishing out my roles. So as AMSA, I continue as head of events. Actually, this Saturday, I'm leading my very last induction ceremony, and right now I'm doing the logistics of planning, the prep, how does that overlay, figuring out how do I pass on my role to the next generation of officers. And it's bittersweet. This is the leadership role I've been in ever since I was a freshman for about 4 years now. And when I think about closing that chapter, well, it's bittersweet. I'm feeling a sense of pride when I see our new members who come from 10 to over 50 people. I see AMSA members laughing. Even top scholars to this day now, we have a lot of freshmen who are now at AMSA, sophomores who are at AMSA, having leadership roles. It makes me happy that just something as a small group that I do with friends was able to grow so much here, and actually made the healthcare accessible to everybody. And then Sassy, I'm the president and co-founder. So right now, as I'm doing every spring semester, I focus on donations. Actually, tomorrow I'm actually donating to one of our newest donators, about 2:30. It's the Mobile Loaves and Fish organization. I'm donating some of the soaps. Then this whole entire academic year, I was part of the Honors College Student Advisory Board. The purpose of the board is for Honors College students to kind of work behind the scenes and figure out how can Honors College better represent TSA students. So by taking students different backgrounds, we meet every semester talking about plans, how can we make honor college more accessible. And my role, what I really want to do is establish a mentorship committee and establish a mentorship program so that next year when they actually facilitate more actually coming to fruition, we can have opportunities. Because it's on campus, we have a lot of mentorship programs. But something that we realized that we're lacking is that yes, you have people be your mentors and ambassadors, but something that we realized specifically in honors college is that well, you have people with different passions. We don't really have students figuring out how to connect somebody in biochemistry. Yes, to go into medical school, but how do they make the most of honors college opportunities? How do they fit study abroad with trying to do their chemistry classes? How do they fit all the honors college electives that they can do? How can I present the ELF? How can I get funding for a new hobby? So by having more students who have these diverse experiences, we can help people use the honors college to the fullest. I truly believe what made my journey in college really most memorable is opportunities I have through honors college and top scholar, whether it's getting funding for my crochet work, whether it's Sassy, whether it's taking class in Monsters Medicine, which taught me about medical experimentation in healthcare and why age is important for future healthcare professionals. The honors college gave me so much blessings. By giving other students at honors college opportunity to have the same blessings of our holistic experiences, I think it'll be a really bigger impact on our campus. Then lastly, service. This is something that I did. It's brand new. I started this semester. I have been working for Teach for America and their Ignite program. Actually, yesterday was my last day. So Teach for America is this nonprofit that does you could do this after college, where we go to schools associated economic needs and backgrounds to help build their programs. We could do many things. You could go to elementary schools and do reading and writing, math. You can also help high schoolers. But the purpose for us is to increase education and divide education across schools. For me, I was doing fourth grade reading in Oklahoma. And the reason why I wanted to do reading for elementary students elementary students in particular, is that when it comes to literacy and understanding, reading is foundation. Whether you're a STEM student, whether you're somebody in COFA, when it comes to reading, it helps to be able to not only think critically what's on paper, help you think critically about the world, answer better questions, have deeper conversations with your peers. Reading is the foundation for how young children grow up in society. And when we don't have that foundation, especially in schools of poor disparities, it can make significant impact to what children grow today. And we talk about literacy rates in America, hesitancy when it comes to science or other topics. By having students become more critical thinkers by reading, it can not only help them engage with the world, but connect with fellow Americans. So I thought that if I could do my own part as somebody going into medicine who's really passionate about building and bridging those gaps when it comes to hesitancy, I'll be truly happy. And it's been a really fun experience. My students call me Miss A. I remember really well. I just said my name, Ashley Chelsea. It's a very long name. I said, everyone calls me AC. So my students said, okay, I got that, but I like Miss A. So that's what they kept. I have 3 young Black girls. We meet every single from Monday through Thursday for about an hour. We do a lot of reading exercises. This week was our last week. We did context clues. I remember very well getting to know them or doing reading. One of the girls, she's hilarious. She's telling me, Miss A, I get we do all this reading stuff, but I don't like it. I don't want to do it. So I was telling my mom that it's important, reading's important, but she's like, I get that. She's like, I get that, but I just don't want to do it. So I was telling my mom, like, how can I get these kids engaged? Then I asked them, how do you guys play book it? I played book it all throughout high school, and they're like, yes, I know what that is. So through that, we have a point system. Every week I give them points. You got 1 point for listening to instructions and being engaged in class. You got 2 points for getting mastery, which was 75 points at IXL. You got 3 points if you got it first. Then I gave them extra 4 bonus points whoever had the best behavior each week. And it's for a particular reason. And through that, each leaderboard, whoever's the first got picked. The theme are book it. So we've done book it in Encanto. We have done Hopper. I don't know what the Hopper movie is. Apparently it's about beavers. So I learned that. We've done the Winx Club. And even our board, we use Pencil Spaces, which is a software similar to Zoom. But instead, you have a board. It's endless board. You can put websites on it, images that you guys learn simultaneously. So each week, I have a girl pick decorations. So I remember the first week, one of the girls, she loved Winx Club. And I love Winx Clubs too, so decorated. Each girl had their different fairy they wanted. We've done Harry Potter. We've done Star Wars. Every single theme. And it keeps the girls engaged. And showing them reading can be fun and be rewarded for their work. And through that, they've just mastered. When I look at their progress in the beginning of the semester to now, they have mastered over 70% of the topics. And the average of that school is about 50% mastery. So I was really proud that my students have not only engaged academically, became way more curious about reading and being way more curious about education as a whole. Ooh. Go back. So now SASSY. SASSY is one of the words I'm most passionate about. So I want to make sure that before the end of the year, I talk about our overall impact. We have donated over 2,000 soaps ever since my sophomore year of college. And overall, that is 912 gallons of used cooking oil saved. I've just been so grateful for SASSY and so grateful for the impact. Whether it's like Miss Lozano, you always come to your busy schedule to help us out. And you always give me ideas of new donors or new ingredients. Whether it's my friends in SASSY like Journey, who always helps me out with Lemonade Circle and collaborating with those organizations. Whether it's people like LB, who helps us out on the leadership side. Whether it's people like Peter, who was with me on my study abroad. We are just a team of, not only are we a team of officers, but we're a family. And having people with different backgrounds and majors come together to figure out how we make a hobby that we love enjoyable for other people has just been such a pleasure. These are all the organizations that we have worked with. We worked with HBC UTSA clubs. We worked with educational schools such as Sequoia, which I go volunteer in from my freshman to junior year. We've also worked with the Honors College, the American Chemistry Society, and also organizations outside of UTSA in general. We have worked with Haven for Hope, which helps with the homeless population. We have worked, this is the organization we're actually donating tomorrow, actually, the Mobile Loaves and Fishes organization as well. There's so many people and there's so many blessings that have shown me that not only can we make a hobby fun, but how can we make a hobby accessible to the general population? And when they told me how much they love the soaps and how the donors have enjoyed them, and how patients have enjoyed them, how people have enjoyed them too, it makes me really happy that things about soap can have a big impact not only in hygiene and resource scarcity, but just in making San Antonio a more connected community as a whole. And last but not least, I'm announcing my medical school. Most people know, but starting July 27th, I'll be in Pasadena, California at Kaiser Bernard J. Tyson School of Medicine. I was very blessed that I got a merit-based full-ride scholarship, so I'm very happy to announce for my BS and my MD, I'll be paying $0. If you had told me this, not in the beginning of my freshman year, I would say you're lying. If you had told me this 9 years ago, when my mom and dad told me out of nowhere, we're moving to Texas, I would have said, no way. I remember very well my parents told me the news. My siblings were overjoyed, but I remember I was crying. I was losing all my friends, my connections. I've been in the Northeast all my life. Most of Nova Texas, there's tumbleweeds and cowboys. So it's like, mom, dad, this is a whole new world. I don't want to go for the longest time. I remember coming here, I just fell in love with the education opportunities and the friends that I've met. Then when I think now about the medical school I chose Kaiser for a multitude of reasons. I remember when I was applying this summer for AMCAS, picking my schools, and I was doing my secondaries. Then I remember I was writing my secondary application, writing my stories, and I was learning about Kaiser. Then I remember me and my mom talking like, oh wow, this is a really good school. Learning about how to talk about healthcare agency, healthcare disparities. Kaiser's mission is not, yes, to promote medicine in California, but to make medicine healthcare accessible. They're really passionate to myself to work with marginalized populations, whether it's in the South SoCal, the North Cal area, just and not only help them, but be a partner. This is something that I said to my mom, and something that I said to my family all the time. You cannot bring change to a community without having those people you want to help have a seat at the table. And Kaiser truly does that. Whereas us as first year medical students going into the community, yes, we are helping them, but they tell us what they do. They tell us where do they want our boots in the ground? How do we help them? What resources do we want to give to them? Which community members do we speak with? Which stories do we hear? So that we make sure that everyone's put at the table and we all have an equal impact and making the change that these community members want to see. And when it comes to healthcare professionals, well, yes, you want to help our patients. You want to make sure they're listening to our patients. Every patient has a story to share. Every patient has a lesson. And they each come with their life stories, whether it's the long routes from the bus ride, which makes them more hesitant to go to the clinic every week. Maybe they're a stay-at-home mom that still has a heavy burden at home. Or maybe they're a parent that has so many part-time jobs, so they can't go to the clinic at evening because they fear where do they put their kids for daycare. These are all questions that help reflect health and reflect how patients see medicine. And if you can't understand that, you can't make a true impact when it comes to patient care in America. And seeing how Kaiser teaches us from the very beginning of our first year to be able to do that, it showed me that I can not only become a strong physician, but a holistic physician that no matter what patient comes to the door, I'll listen to them with intentionality and make sure that their story is truly heard and advocate for it in every space I enter. So this is some of the pictures from my second look. These are some of the friends that I made along the way. This is the medical school building itself. It's one building. I'll tell my mom, it's very, very beautiful. I just fell in love with the building. I remember coming back telling my mom and my friends that they have a Da Vinci. Now, for those who don't know, Da Vinci is a tool in surgery that allows them to do very laparoscopic work. And I remember I saw it and I was like, oh, it's a model. They're like, no, it's a real thing. And Da Vinci's are very expensive. So logistically, you don't have a Da Vinci in a medical school. And just seeing them to have a group of 50 students, just like a top squad to nurture us and help us just become whatever physician you want to be, I knew it was a no-brainer. And Kaiser's acceptance rate, for those you don't know, is 0.41%. As for new states, as of right now, it's the most competitive medical school in the country to enter. So remember, I was doing my application. I told my mom, honestly, mom, I fell in love with the school. Even my mom was saying I fell in love with the school, but if we don't get in, it's just at the odds. But I remember the day I got in. I was in AMSA leading my events committee meeting, and I got the email. So I said, sorry, I have to go. So I stood up. I went to the corner of the second floor at SUB. I called my mom. I said, mom, I got into Kaiser. She's like, what? I said, Kaiser. She said, Kaiser. I said, yes, mom. KPSO, I'm not playing. So she screamed. She's like, okay, we'll talk later. I called my dad. I said, Dad, I got into Kaiser. He said, no way. Then I remember the first person I told was Dr. Eigler. I remember this very well because for those who don't know, during the application cycle, I was very stressed with medical school, TA. So Dr. Eigler told me, like, he saw on my face. So I remember as soon as he came in, he was like, you know, Ace, it's different about you. You're pretty light today. Then I told him I got into medical school and I got into Kaiser, and he was so excited for me. And the next day, I remember I was in analytical chemistry. We're just doing lectures always. And I got an email from Kaiser. Congratulations with your financial record. So I went to look. And for context, Kaiser for these first classes, it's a full tuition school. So you don't pay tuition. But everyone's expected to pay for the cost of living. So I thought, okay, I have a tuition scholarship. That's a really impossible medicine. That's enough. So I opened it up. I saw the financial records. And then I saw $0. Then again, I stood up. I went outside. I called my mom. I said, Mom, I'm going to forward you this email. It says 0. Is this a joke? She looked at it. She said, H&M? No, this is real. 0 for everything. You got a full ride. Just remember being so much in shock. Went back to class. I finished class. I told Dr. Eigler, it was OCHEM 2, I believe, and I told Dr. Eigler I got a full ride to Kaiser. And he gave me a hug and he announced it to class. Just now, when people ask me how do I feel, for the past few months, it's been a dream. Like, I know I'm going to medical school. I know I got this opportunity, but it didn't sink. But when I went to that campus, just literally 2 weeks ago, it fully cemented. And if I have one word for this opportunity, I just have gratitude. My parents have always taught me that it takes a village for individual success. And everyone sitting in this room has been a village. Whether it's my friend, Angel Jose from freshman year, always supporting me. Where's Dr. Aguilar? No matter whatever jokes I was saying in class and laughing, he was always helping me out. This was on as simple as my study abroad. You could help me out. Dr. Perry, you're one of the first persons I had at UTSA, even kept me with my daughter. Everyone here has had a significant impact to have seen on campus and just have gone so far. And actually, I've not done it without you. So I believe it would not be right to talk about this big achievement while recognizing the people who made it possible. So thank you so much. I just truly have no words. I'm just so grateful for your support for me and investing in me. So my overall lessons learned. So continue to make those connections. You never know where they might lead you. I feel like when it comes to my senior year and my year top scholar and UTSA, it's truly the friends I've made, the connections I made with people in unexpected ways, whether it's a different culture, different majors, that truly helped me not only grow academically, but grow my mindset, grow my maturity, and just see the world in a more holistic picture. And it's helped me have a better story for myself. Then take a walk. My friends know this. I'm somebody when I'm stressed, I go walking. I'll walk in Laurel. I'll call my mom. We could be talking for an hour about who knows what, and I just talk to her and debrief. For me, walking and just talking to people is very important to maintain your mental health and physical well-being. And when it comes to what I've learned in college, is that you cannot pour into others if your cup isn't full. So making sure by walking, focusing on family, hanging out with friends, make sure my cup is full, it allows me to do everything else a bit more vigor. And then lastly, don't be aiming so far in the future while enjoying the present. While I have been able to say yes, my ultimate goal of going to medical school, but something I learned quickly in my freshman year of college is that while it's important to aim for that future, enjoying the present is equally as important. Whether it's, I remember the days that I was studying for Gen Chem and Jose and Intro said, okay, AC, I know you're studying, but let's go out to eat or let's go try something new. You helped me get out of my shell and enjoy the present, and even helped me do hobbies like crocheting outside of being my mentee, whereas watching anime, reading books. It showed me that enjoying the moments of how people in the present gives me strength not only for the future, but just enjoy life as it is. You can't keep reaching for a finish line without looking at what's in front of you. And even when you get to that finish line, you won't have that same fulfillment. So I'm very grateful for the people in my life who've made the present so much enjoyable and just so worthwhile that even though I know the future's in sight, I'm happy for what I have right in front of me. So that's the end of my presentation. Once again, I thank each and every one of you so much for being here. Words cannot describe it. Like my mom has taught me as a kid, a young Cameroon woman, you have to give credit where credit's due. And for all of you, I have to give your due credit. Thanks so much for supporting me. All this truly would not have been possible without you. Thank you so much.
All right, I'll go first and I'll be quick. I will just say it's been great to be able to work with you, and it's incredible what you accomplished. And I wish you all the best as you venture into medical school.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
It has been a great past few years having you in our program, having you as a member of honors, because your presence on campus and off of it goes so much deeper than just our top scholar program. And representing the school as well. And those are things that we want from each of our scholars. And when they can do that effectively, and when they can balance so many things that they're doing together, and the mentorship component that comes along with it, the academic prowess that comes from it, it's just really awe-inspiring to see. And I remember being in the same room last time round, hearing from you and hearing about your eventful year. And now seeing it all put into further context and seeing what are your future plans and what's coming next. It's just fantastic to see. So really congratulations on all you've done and navigating this program as well. Job well done.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Anyone else in our audience have any questions or comments that they'd like to share?
As a parent, I have seen my daughter actually transform from a young high schooler and to a mature, well-reasoned, caring, passionate, life young lady. And I can't really say much without saying that I think the structure in which she finds herself, the top scholar program structure, gave her more like that manure for her to blossom, like almost like the soil around the plant. So from our first year, talking about her meeting with Mr. Fernando, I think that's her name, right? Mm-hmm. Talking about one-on-one. Of that, I'm going for a one-on-one with Fernando. Of that, I'm just for a one-on-one with Fernando. I mean, so getting all those support and talk about her different lecturers on campus and how the interaction I'm going to have having a meeting with Dr. Aguilar. I mean, all those, I've just seen her transform over the years into a very passionate and very, very full of life young lady, which definitely I can't really say much without thanking the whole structure around UTSN and the Top Scholar program for giving you that opportunity to actually shine and blossom to who you are today.
Thank you, Dad, truly.
We have a hand raised from Fernando, and he was watching via Zoom.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Hello, AC. Hello, Aminkeng family. I just want to say that I really appreciated being able to advise AC. She is such a light, and so y'all definitely raised a very beautiful and very smart and intelligent, woman. So kudos to y'all, Aminkeng family. Um, AC, I'm super, super excited for you. As soon as you walked into my door freshman year, I knew you were going to get in medical school and get a full ride. Definitely, like I knew that from the very first second. And so I definitely just want to say congratulations. I'm super excited for you. We need, Black female doctors. And so I'm super excited for your journey. And so definitely keep in touch. Don't be a stranger. But just know that I'm always here if you need anything.
Thank you so much, Fernando.
If you would allow me to give you one last piece of advice. So something that I've realized about you is that you are very self-aware and you take advantage of all the opportunities that come in front of you, and you're very appreciative of them, right? I do remember that day where I was like, something's changed. Because I remember you being really stressed that semester, and then all of a sudden it's like, uh-oh, something's changed. Something's good though. It's a good change. If you can go back one slide, I was going to ask you a question about how do you take care of yourself, both mentally and physically, and you answered it. So my last piece of advice is remember those lessons learned, right? Because those are going to be things that are really going to be really helpful to you. And personal experience, there's a lot of times we learn lessons and then you go through another experience and you're like, wait, I learned that lesson before, I just forgot about it.
Mm-hmm. Thanks so much, Dr. Aguilar.
I think you have an incredibly just fun personality. I love having conversations with you. Don't ever lose that. Don't lose that light. Don't ever lose your perception on life's journey. I think you have a broader worldview rather than just one point. Your stops along the way and you reflect on it, which is highly valuable. You practice amazing gratitude, which we tend to forget, right? The things that we forget that build us up along the way that we take for granted. And I don't see that in you at all. But don't lose that going forward. I think you're going to go on and
It was definitely, thank you so much.
Yeah, I think I learned a lot from you in the classes. It was actually some of the first classes I taught here. And about appreciating the depth of students that are here in terms of their intellect. You always asked incredibly difficult questions, which I think I usually didn't know how to answer. Maybe that's not unusual. But the other part, I think it'll be really important for you to mentor future students that are here that are appropriate. I think that's really important because so many students I see are not on track. You were one that, there are students that are on track, but I would say 90% of them are off track and just need a little bit of guidance.
Thank you, Dr. Perry.
I would like to start by giving a big shout out to the Top Scholar program because you have to be at the right place for the right thing to happen. And I remember when we got the letter for selection, we didn't really know that much about Top Scholar. And to be honest, she was really hooked into Cornell, Harvard, because she had she wanted to go to Ivy League and she got the admission. So we came for selection. We are like, sure, even if we get into Top Scholar, we didn't have experience with Top Scholar other than reading it. It's different from reading something on the computer and experiencing it. So immediately I came with her for the selection weekend. To me, it was a done deal. I was like, AC, Harvard, Cornell letters, trash. I mean, I think within the first 1 hour, it was just mind changing. I met Christy. Oh my gosh, it was good. I don't even know how to put it into words. And it was just so good that I left like literally kneeling down and praying to God that please God, if AC can become a top scholar, it gave me this instant like loose of joy. Because when I got the letter for, oh my God, my daughter is getting into Ivy League, I was so excited. And I thought, oh, dream come true. Then when I came to top scholar, oh, it just went into trash. I fell in instant love. Christy, you do a beautiful job selling the program. You know, like somebody who came for the program, it was really, really so out in a beautiful way. We are able to see a lot of things. And I think the best thing that happened to AC, honestly, was to be a top scholar. That has been like the biggest blessing of her life. It has given her that foundation. The structure, like Christy has this tough love. She's very loving, but you have to do the right thing, which is the first requirement for success. So I don't even know what to say, but I'm very, very, very grateful. Through Top Scholar, she has been able to meet a lot of people, including Jose, a lot of them that are not here. And we've come to know Andrea. They are like nothing but a family. I don't even see them like friends. To me, these two, they are my family. And I remember in year one, AC came home and was telling me about Dr. Perry. I had never met Dr. Perry. And she said so many good things. Dr. Perry even connected AC to his daughter, who is a dentist in California. And till today, they've been communicating. She was so happy to know that AC is joining her in California and they are planning to visit. Then along the line, AC met Dr. Aguilar. Oh my gosh, that was another big chapter. I don't even know how to explain it, but it just became so emotional and everything. These are just not lecturers, but they are like they love their job. You can see that they are not just, it's not a job, it's a commitment. And it shows in their work. And Ms. Lozano, you are a blessing. Yeah, you are a true blessing. AC's Sassy will not be anything without you. I don't think you know how much you do, to be honest. Yeah, even the award that she got, she did not even know about the award, or even if she knew about it, she did not even have plans to apply. And you encourage her, that you always look out for her, you help her a lot. So at the end of the day, AC has been given a lot. Even though I know some people, they may not do anything when you give them a lot, but she's very resourceful. AC is somebody that she just needs to have the opportunity. She'll grab it, she'll run it. I am so happy. I'm so grateful. Fernando did a phenomenal job with them. Then Josh, thank you so much. Josh was so inspiring and encouraging when AC started Sassy. And you guys gave her wonderful recommendation letters. I don't know if she forgot to mention it, but I remember each time she will come off the interview, most medical schools will be like, did you write your own recommendation letter? We don't know whatever you wrote there, but what you wrote there, it was beautiful. Because they were all talking about it when she went for every interview. We are forever grateful. We are so thankful. And to AC, thank you for taking the opportunities, because you may not take the opportunities given to you. And continue to take care of yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm very proud of you. I'm very happy that finally you are becoming that doctor that you've always wanted to be since age 7.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you guys so much. I'm
Thank you,
very grateful.
everybody.
We can write 30 to get ready for something we are going for. Wonderful. Thank you guys.
Thank you.